Hello YouTube, this is Necro331 with another video. This is actually just to talk about the next format and particularly what kind of budget decks or budgety kind of decks you can build that may do fairly well this format, even against the big three. Fortunately, the big three are so overpowered that a lot of decks are going to struggle to survive. But I think certain decks that would have a chance to shine in this next format would be first off Six Samurai. In fact, to be honest with you, I'm almost compelled to call this format not the big three but the big four, because Six Samurai are still really good this format. They're doing very well. They're still showing up at top tables, top 32s, top 36, and then you had your YCS champion with Six Sams. The build was kind of different, but still Six Samurai deck, I guess. They're still really good, and they're fairly budget. Unfortunately, the competitive builds utilize Maxi, so that's going to be a barrier of entry for the deck. But on the bright side, outside of the Maxis, everything else for the deck is fairly budget, for the most part. So that's one deck that's definitely worth taking a look at, and definitely has a good chance at competing this format. The next deck I think has a pretty good shot is Gravekeepers. I mean, the last ban list didn't do anything to them. They didn't get touched. It was merely the Heavy Storm coming back, as well as the Dark World structure that scared Gravekeeper players away from this last format. But I think, seeing as Dark Worlds haven't done a whole lot lately, haven't been showing up, I think Gravekeeper players will be confident enough again to run the deck, because the deck is still good and can still shut down a lot of the top decks in the meta. Necro still does a pretty good job against windups, especially Rat. He does fairly okay against Insectors, but remember, Hornet can be summoned from hand too. Necro isn't that great, but it still works. They don't do very well against Dino-Rabbits from what I've seen so far, but they can do okay. So, Gravekeepers, Six Samurai. I also think Dark World have a pretty decent shot. They didn't get touched by the ban list, and I think they're still fairly good. Car Curry, still good deck, but not as dirtastic as the big three, of course. Infernity, they are getting their version of Sheehan's in March, and that should definitely help boost the deck up. Then you got Heroes. Masked Hero variants may do fairly well because they're getting acid soon. Um, I don't know when Escuri Dio is coming out, but there's a good shot that will come out this year in the United States, so there's that as well. Ninjas are fairly good as well. More of a fun deck, but they can still, I think, do pretty well at a local event. I personally run a Samorg Ninja deck. Then we have Chaos Stun as the anti-meta. I mean, BLS is still legal, and it abuses that card like no tomorrow, so I think Chaos Stun is still going to be good. And Chaos variants in general, like Chaos Dragons, will still be pretty damn good, because BLS, we still have it. So Empty Jar, it recently got, and was it top 16, or top 32, somewhere around there, at a YCS, so I think they still have a pretty good shot. There's that Absorb Jar that's coming out as well in Galactic Overlord. Light Sworn, they really benefited from this ban list. They got another Lumina back, which helps their consistency. I think they have a pretty good shot. And last but not least, Evol. They have pretty good support already. They have some of the most powerful of these monsters, and they aren't even done getting support. They're still getting support in the next set as well. So I would definitely look out for these decks, especially if you're a budget player. I think all of them have pretty good shot against the meta decks. All of them have their own uses at a tier. They're all tier 2 in my opinion, except for Sam's, which I believe personally are tier 1, but that's just me. So if you're a budget player, I would look out for them, especially Gravekeepers. You could pretty much build the entire Gravekeeper deck for $60. Nothing too expensive, and the majority of the expense will be towards pod duality, unless you want to run Phoenix Chains. Then I guess that complicates things a little bit, but for the most part they are pretty budget. So anyways, that's pretty much it for that video. Feel free to comment if you think there's other decks that I missed that have a pretty good shot. I'm going to leave my reservations for decks that haven't released all their support yet, like Gem Knights, Lavels, Gishki, Vylon, Gusto, Steelswarm, because they haven't gotten all their best support yet. I do know that Lavels are pretty dang good, Gishkis are pretty good, and I think there's a lot of people that think Gem Knight's a pretty good deck too. So those are three that I know are fairly good. So yeah, that's that. Anyways, that will be it for this video. Please comment, rate, subscribe. Necrofear331 signing out.